house that is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
Welcome back. And thanks for joining us. I'm Zada.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to Two Sides in the Truth.
So we're doing something a little different today, and we are actually recording ourselves on video. We don't know if we're going to use this.
Video and audio. We got all the recordings going on.
Yeah, we're going to see how this goes.
It's a little much. I'm just not going to look over there. Maybe I'll just...
That's a good idea. That's fine. Unless you say something funny and then look right at the camera.
Ta-da.
Be like, I did something. Okay, so we're going to start off and talk about... Bum, ba, bum. That's my noise effect. Bum, ba, da, da.
I love
Kelly's
it.
birthday.
It is my
It's
birthday.
Kelly's birthday.
Oh, yeah. I've been
I know
celebrating.
There's music for it, but that's not it.
Yours.
That is not. I'm about to know. Kelly's birthday. Okay,
Thank you, everybody, for showing up for my birthday. I appreciate it.
I am as bad as them.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to try to get this to Eric as soon as I can so that we can actually release it tomorrow, which is Wednesday, which is my birthday. So
Your birthday.
Yay!
That's exciting.
I get so excited. I have not yet reached the stage or the age where you don't like to celebrate your birthday anymore, or you're like, oh, I'm just getting old. I haven't gotten there yet.
No.
I'm still super excited. So
because you do the whole month.
I'm living my best life as always.
I celebrate birthday week. I don't normally do the whole month. So what is your week's plans? Like what you got?
The only reason that it's really a month now is because I have so many friends who have March birthdays. So
that is true.
It seems like I'm celebrating all month, and I'm like, oh, it's your birthday. Yeah, my birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
I have so many people that have March birthdays that I feel like I'm celebrating all month. So I'm like, why not?
Just own the whole month.
I'm staying sober enough for work, so I'm really just like partying on the weekends mostly. But I'm off for my birthday tomorrow, so it's all free game. So
what are your plans? What are you doing?
Well, I usually have dinner at Fuzzy Taco, which is one of my favorite places. And it's so easy whenever you don't know how many people are going to be there, because as soon as you get there, you order, and you just order your own food. You don't have to worry about like driving a waitress crazy.
Right. But
this year I wanted to have like an actual like sit down meal in a restaurant. So we're going to Mi Casa, and it's just a Mexican restaurant here in town in Waxahachie, and it's really good. It's fastly become one of my favorites, and it's so good food, and they make it so pretty as well. The presentation is so awesome, and that means a lot to me because you eat with your eyes as well as your mouth, and so I love it when things look nice and pretty, and it tastes really good. It's a really good pricing. They have like lunch menus that are really affordable, and so. But I wanted to go for dinner, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go for my birthday dinner. So I have a pretty good...
Yeah. And then...
if everybody shows up that I invited, we're going to have like 15 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. But not everybody.
Well, in a place like that, you probably need to tell everybody you really need to try to be there on time because it's really hard as a waitress when everyone...
Oh, yeah.
Strolls in.
We're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. I might be thinking, oh my gosh, I should have just gone to Fuzzies. But
we're going to see how it works out.
We're going to see. I'm going to be there drinking, just waiting on everybody to get there. Right. So it's going to be fine.
I haven't been to it since it moved. It used to be by my house. And then they moved it. So I'll see how it goes.
I'm excited.
It sounds good.
And then afterwards, I wanted to do karaoke on my birthday, but nowhere around here really does karaoke on Wednesday. Alice doesn't do it on Wednesdays. And Rocket doesn't do it on Wednesdays. But my friend Sheriff told me that she goes to Lone Star in Red Oak on Wednesday nights and does karaoke. So I'm like, boom, that's where we're going.
Switching it up.
So after dinner, we're going to Lone Star. So that's where I'll be.
Well, that's fun.
And I'm actually even going to try. So I was telling them, I was inviting people, and Marilee was inviting a few people for me. And I was letting her know to let them know that it'd be cool if everybody tries to dress up, because I dress up anyways every single day. So for my birthday, I definitely like to dress up. And so it's not that you don't have to, but I'm going to be, so I tell them I'm going to be in like black tie, and I'm probably going to try and talk my boyfriend into wearing jeans. So that's where the platform is at. Okay. So don't think you have to get too fancy.
What would he wear if he didn't wear jeans? What's his other option?
He lives in sweats. That's his thing.
Right.
He has the
gray sweats.
Yeah.
Everybody loves.
He has every color. But no, he's not allowed to wear the gray ones out of the house.
Fair.
But neither am I. So
I tried to buy Rick some gray sweatpants one time, and he was like, You're not using me as your candy, okay? I'm not your arm
I'm
candy.
not your eye candy. Yes,
and
you
I'm not
are.
wearing
Excuse
those.
me.
And I was like, all right, that's fine. He wouldn't wear them out of the house anyways. He doesn't even own tennis shoes.
Yeah,
What's he gonna wear them with?
Dante's go-to is the long sleeve fishing t-shirts, but he fishes all the time. Like anytime he has like extra time, he's always going with his
Yeah.
son. So that's his. He likes the long sleeve like fisher t-shirts or the whatever it is, and sweats and tennis shoes. That's his like.
That's
Other than that,
opposite
he
of Rick.
lives in his work uniform,
Yeah.
which is a bright green long sleeve,
Lime safety green.
and working pants and working boots
Yeah.
and whatever it's called.
Rick is still stuck in his style. I don't know how long he's had it. Thankfully, I met him after his gangbanging years.
But we've seen pictures.
We have seen pictures, and they are quite rewarding.
There's proof.
But he wears his starch jeans, and he likes his boots to have a round toe, not to like an old school round toe.
Yeah.
He's not a square boot fan, and you can't find round toe anymore. It's very hard. And so he gets to the point he'll have like no boots because he just can't find them. And like there was one pair he could order online, and he just kept ordering the same pair.
Yeah.
And they weren't available anymore. So he had to break down last time
man.
and get square toe. It was as bad as the striped underwear.
Oh my
You would have
God.
thought he was wearing high heels on his feet. He was so unhappy with this situation. Well, this is hard, man. He does not do well with change.
Well, you know,
I mean, he's
at least he's trying.
yeah. At least he's trying. Bless his heart. Yesterday, I gave away one of my RVs. I have one that we use, and then we have the other one that's his, and then the one that was mine, and mine was just falling apart. My daughter, it wasn't in good condition. So this lady needed one, so we worked out something where she could have it, and she picked it up, and it was gone when I got home, and where it's been kept. Things collect around an RV. And so we had like bikes and like not a muffler. I'm guessing that's from my bonus sons. Just all kinds of stuff. And so I left the house long enough to go to the doctor yesterday. And when I came back from the doctor, Rick was home and he'd already cleaned it all up, bagged it all up, was working on it, whatever. And so I pulled back up and my kids come outside to meet me. And they're like, we told the man in the house story, right? On here before.
There's a man in this house.
And so they came out. They're like, "There's a man in this house. There's a man." I was like, "Okay." Rick does not think it's as funny as we do. He did not laugh.
That's
as
okay.
hard. Yeah,
He doesn't have to. It is.
It is. It is. So that's exciting. Anything else with your birthday going on?
Well, my brother's birthday, which is my older brother, my only oldest brother, or older brother. His birthday is he's 1 year, 1 week, and 1 day older than I am. So his birthday was the 14th. And so we're supposed to be doing something with my family for both of our birthdays this weekend. So, but who knows what that's going to end up being. But
yeah,
that's really the only other thing I go, because I'm going out. I might be going out tonight to karaoke. I'm going out tomorrow for my birthday and then karaoke. And then I'm going out Thursday for girls' night karaoke. So I'm like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, you're going to be exhausted by this weekend.
So Friday, I'm off work, but I did not plan anything. So I can have a recovery day.
You need a recovery day. See, if you had thought about doing the cabin for the weekend. If we had done it, you would have been so exhausted after 3 days of partying.
And then partying
and then
all
the
weekend.
cabin.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done that.
I mean,
you
could've.
could have. Your liver would have hated you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you'd be
probably.
so tired. You'd have to call in next week. You'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm so tired from my birthday that I took off for. That's just, so we'll just do it later.
Where's our button?
Oh, I don't have it turned on.
Oh, no.
I thought it did turn it on.
See,
bless your heart.
we are professionals.
I know. I forgot we were recording ourselves. Okay, so what else? What else we got?
If you want to talk about you,
Oh yeah, I know.
the fact that your daughter listens to us.
Yeah. My kids, the younger kids, don't listen unless I'm listening to it while I'm cooking, and if they come in the room, I'll typically turn it off. And Rick, because he doesn't listen either.
Yeah.
And I turn it off because they don't need to hear everything. My teenagers don't need to hear everything.
Yeah, they're not ready for that.
And Rick he's heard it all. Like he's like, again, really? Or he'll be like, are you really listening to yourself? And I'm like, yeah, this is how I know if I did good or bad. Like, this is how I critique myself, you know? But he always says, oh, you're listening to yourself. Yep, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I usually listen to it by myself. Now my oldest daughter is an adult and lives in Austin, and she'll be 26 this year. And so I knew I'd listen to a bip here and a bip there. We're very, very close. But again, they know all my stories pretty much, and they don't want to know everything about my life. Like I'm mom, I'm not nearly as funny to them.
You got to have some mystery about you.
Yeah. And so every once in a while I'll say something, they'll be like, what? You did what? You know what I mean? But Zoe's been listening to it, and she listens to it every once in a while. She was like, I don't listen to it, all of them. I figure you don't want me hearing it. But, I'll tune in, and I like to hear you talk, and I miss you, and I clean house and listen to it. She says mainly when she's cleaning house, that's when she does it, which makes sense. And but she's a bartender, so she works all night, and then when she gets home, whenever she's like settling down for her night like we would for dinner, watching TV, about the time I get up to go to work at 4 a.m. So she typically will text me if she's up and available and be like, hey, give me a call. And I'll call her on my way into work, and we'll visit on my way into work or whatever. So this weekend on Sunday, she texted, see if I was up, and I was up cooking breakfast and doing whatever. I was like, yeah. So she calls and she says, she's crying, and she's not instantly crying, but she starts crying. She's like, I'm listening to the podcast, and I'm listening to the Christmas podcast. And I don't always listen, but wow, Mom, like it was really weird to be the kid and have lived you going through some things that I was there and present, and I had no clue this stuff was going on. Like, she didn't know that I was struggling to make Christmas happen. She didn't know a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she was like, I was listening to the newest episode, and I was like, oh, I'm like thinking, what did I discuss?
It's just
my memory is so bad that part of the reason I listen to our podcast is so when people ask me questions or bring something up is so I remember, I did discuss that on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I said that.
I did. Okay. And so I was like, all right. So I was like, okay, what did I discuss on this last podcast? Because she said she just finished the Christmas one, and that was the one that made her cry, and she was about to start the new one. And I was like, okay, whatever. And we talked for a while, and we talked about the podcast and about her, how it made her feel. And she's glad that she got to listen to it. And she hears these things and whatever. But I try not to discuss their dad in a bad way. Like, I tell the truth, and then I just leave it very.
Oh, yeah.
I try not to go down messy trails. I try not to put too much out there that my kids don't know, because I'm not trying to bring them into that trash. You know what I mean?
I understand.
I did mention my ex-husband getting a phone call in the middle of the night. She didn't bring it up. Yeah, she did not bring it up. Now, I will say she knows about that incident.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know how she knows about the incident. I don't recall telling her about the incident because I'm pretty careful about that kind of stuff. So I really don't know if she heard us arguing or if her dad said something or if I said something. I don't know. You know what I mean? She didn't say anything to me about it. I know she knows about it because it's come up before, and she's at peace with how things worked. Like, the one thing I preach to the kids is, your dad and I getting divorced was literally the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, and I don't mean that in a mean way towards your dad. He just wasn't my fit. Mm-hmm. And like I said on that podcast, I was happy that I got that text, phone call, whatever happened in the middle of the night, because it got me to where I am today. I don't know that I ever would have been brave enough had something like that not happened. That was so in my face, I couldn't deny it anymore.
Yeah.
And that was just the straw that broke the camel's back, but there was many other straws before it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I just I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for that I am where I am. And so I've tried to let the kids know that, I have no ill will towards your dad about why we divorced. Like, any issue we had that created us getting divorced does not bother me.
Yeah.
I look
we're
at
divorced
them.
now.
Yeah. That was a good thing for me. And it really, it was the best thing that could have happened to me and to them. And I know that may sound weird to some people, but we were not meant together. And it's not beneficial to the kids to see two people together that are not meant to be together. You know what I mean? So anyways, she listened to it and got a little teary-eyed. A lot of my family doesn't listen to the podcast. And it's mainly because they don't want me to feel like I need to watch what I say. But also, they've all heard the stories. So how much do they want to hear?
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah. But my mom's family is the one that I always laugh about and think that they must find it entertaining and how much they don't know about my mom.
Yeah.
And because my mom picked and chose what you knew about her for the most part. And what you got in public was not what we got at home, not consistently. And so one of the things that I was going to discuss, and I have touched on it on here maybe one other time, but I'm going in the right order, right?
Yep.
I've touched on it in here before, but my mom, Sherry Vaughn, she was had always was really funny, and life led her to where she ended up. And the reason I want to preface that is she made some bad decisions and poor decisions, which are part of the reason she's no longer here because, she didn't take care of herself. But she also had some difficult things that happened to her that put her in a position where she started making bad decisions. That's the best way I can put it without putting her story out there completely. But my mom was a drinker. And we joke about us drinking and stuff. We can't touch my mom. I can't touch my family. You experienced it. I can't touch it. I'm just not as big a drinker. Even though I do drink, I'm not like that.
It's a whole nother level.
It's a whole nother level. And my mom was a big drinker. And the last 30 years of her life, she was an alcoholic. I'd say 30 years. And, there are peaks and valleys in that with any alcoholic situation. There's peaks and valleys where they're more dry than not. And, depending on where they are in life. But when I was right out of high school, my mom got arrested. And I might have been in high school. I didn't live with her. When I was in high school, I moved in with my best friend's family. And so I don't know if I might have been in high school or it was the year I got out of high school. So a long time ago. My mom was young. She was in her late 30s, And so she got arrested for smoking a joint at the gas station in San Saba. Like she went and got gas.
Yeah.
And decided to light up a joint.
Yeah.
While getting gas. And the only thing I can think, I might add, I did not know this till after she died. This was kept from me. This is what I'm talking about, where some people knew. And so a lot of the family members knew about this. Yeah. I was not one of them. At the time, she didn't want me to know. And I can understand why.
Yeah.
And but my little sister knew. And she told my little sister not to tell us.
And she didn't do it?
And she didn't tell us.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a vault.
Yeah. And so she was very young. So my little sister was at home and my mom went to get gas. And so she goes to get gas and gets arrested. And I don't know if that's the first time she got arrested or if she's ever been arrested before that because she wouldn't have told me. So with the life that she led, there's a possibility she's possibly arrested before that. But I don't know about it. So she got arrested at that time. She did not want to tell them her kid was at home because she had a joint on her. And she was like, I'm afraid they're going to try to take my kid because I'm smoking weed, basically. Yeah. So she didn't tell my sister was at home. And she was like, she can walk to her aunt's house when she realizes I'm not coming home. I know my mom. That's how she parented.
Yeah. She's going to realize sooner or later
the fact
she's going to
that,
get hungry.
I parent with the fuck around and find out. So did my mom, but way more extreme.
Yeah.
So she just didn't tell anyone. She didn't want to tell anyone she got arrested. Anyone. She didn't call anybody, and except for her lawyer, which was her cousin. And, so eventually my sister walks to my aunt's house. She was like, hey, Mom didn't come home. What's up with that? Nope. Don't want you to stay the night here. And that's what happened.
Yep.
I don't find out about this for years and years and years after my mom passed away. Now, this is the reason I'm coming to the story. So then my mom, the alcoholic part, she was a drinker and driver on a regular basis. I did not know that was weird. And I know I'm not pro this. I'm not telling people do this. I'm obviously against this. But I didn't even know that was weird until I moved in with my best friend's parents my senior year. And they never drank and drove or really drank. And I was like, what do y'all, what do y'all do?
What are your parents into?
What are y'all going to fight about later tonight? What's going on with this? This is really weird. I loved it. It was a very peaceful home and, But, that was the reality of the situation. It was shocking to me. It was so different than the world I'd come from. And so my mom, all those years drinking, driving, as far as I know, never got pulled over or got arrested for drinking and driving. And it is shocking.
Yeah.
She didn't. Like there was always a bottle of Jack Daniels under her seat.
I remember
my
you
entire
telling me
life.
that you knew exactly where she kept it at. So, and she would just pull it out and have drinks.
Yeah,
and then
'cause,
stick it right back where it goes.
Right between her legs under her seat.
That's where it goes.
That's where the Jack goes. Yeah, yeah. Or she sometimes, if she was gonna need it quicker than that, she'd keep it like to where you plug your seatbelt in, like where the click goes, like right in there. Because she wasn't gonna buckle up, but that's a different story. Lady liked to live life on the edge. So my mom called me a year before she passed away, and she's been gone almost 10 years now. And so a year before she passed away, her and I'd gotten to the best place we were my entire life. Like, she was doing better as far as drinking, primarily because she had to, because she had cancer. But she, so her and I were in a really, really good place, and we had become very close finally. And because we had some rough years. And so she called me and she was like, Zada, I need you to lie to everybody and tell them that I'm visiting you for Christmas. Which, first red flag. Everybody knows nobody comes to visit me in Dallas. I go to San Saba. Like, it's just not, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
So I was like, my mom never even saw the last 5 houses I lived in. Like, that's, So I was like, okay, why? What's going on? She was like, well, I'm going to have to go to jail. Now, here's the funny thing is my mom was real prim and proper. For all these stories that I tell everybody, you have to imagine this being the most prim and proper Southern woman you've ever met, who would randomly say something really crazy like me, crazier than me, but like prim and proper way. Yeah. Like, period. Like, one time I told her she pissed me off when I was in 8th grade, and she slapped me into next week because that is a foul word. Okay, so prim and proper. So she says, well, I got arrested. I was in Houston. Now, she lived in San Saba. I lived in Dallas, Red Oak. She was like, I was in Houston for my chemo, and I just got bad news, which was true. She'd gotten really bad news, and she was very upset about it. And she had to go back for like her second round of treatments the next day. Like, they got some results in, went over with them. She went home that night, or to her hotel, or to my cousin's house she was staying at. And then the next day I had to get up and go back to radiation at MD Anderson. Well, obviously she's upset about this. So she decides to stop at the bar on the way to radiation. She's coping. She's coping, She was very sick for 20 years. Most people would probably be doing something to alleviate it. So she had a few drinks at lunch or whatever it was, and then proceeds to go to MD Anderson and clip somebody's car and creates a wreck. Uh-oh. Not a bad wreck, but it is a wreck, and she does get arrested. Mm-hmm. And doesn't tell any of us any of this. I guess my stepdad knew, but doesn't tell any of us this. And so she tried to get out of it. She had been very sick at the time, and they thought dying. That was what the bad news was, which eventually she did pass from it. So she was very upset about it. So she hires her cousin, the lawyer, to deal with the situation. Her cousin, the lawyer, works at a deal where she can do like community service. That's the worst that's going to happen to her is community. It's obvious she's dying. Yeah. So they're like, okay, you can do community service. My mom wasn't well enough to do community service. She was like, I can't do.
Yeah, I can't be like walking up and down.
I literally
the road,
can't get out of bed right now. So they were like, okay, well then you'll just have to serve the time in the infirmary. So they agreed to her serving, and I don't remember how long it was, but I think she got technically 2 months, maybe 6 weeks. But my cousin, the lawyer, was like, you're only going to serve like 2 weeks, and they're going to let you out on good behavior because it's such a short amount of time, Yeah. She was like, so he was like, no big deal. It's 2 weeks. That's better if you can't do the thing. So my mom's like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to do it. Like, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So that's when she calls me and says, I'm going to have to go in there for like 2 weeks, and I want you to tell everybody I'm visiting you here for Christmas, because she got to pick the dates within a window, I guess. And so she picked through over Christmas. And so I was like, okay, yeah, all right. Would you say no?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, come for Christmas vacation, Mom. I'd love to have you.
Yeah. I mean, one time she called me and asked me how to pass a drug test. That was a different story. Weed, but still, I was like, I don't know. Call Zoll. I don't know.
Why am I your first call?
I was like, I don't even smoke weed. What are you doing? And so it really was kind of funny. She was like, ask Heather or Courtney. Sorry, Heather and Courtney. This is when we were young. This is before I even had kids.
We all did things when we were young.
Yeah.
We're not proud of.
And so
I'm young right now. That's why I know it.
Yeah, exactly. So she goes, just cover for me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to cover for you. And I respected that. And I was going to, and honestly, I wouldn't tell this story if she had been alive within the last decade. It took me a long time to tell this story because I didn't want to embarrass her. But it's a funny story in a way. So she says, and my mom at this point in life is doing very well for herself. She's pretty well off. She's living comfortably, minus the cancer. And so she goes, it checks in at the beginning of December, and she's supposed to be done by the end of December. The thing is that her birthday's in December, my sister's birthday's in December, Christmas is in December, and then New Year's, and then it's my birthday, and the end of January.
Whoa.
But she's not supposed to be there through the whole thing. She's supposed to be out. She was going to miss her birthday, but she was supposed to be out like the week of Christmas. And so I was like, okay, I'll cover for you. So a few people called at my house looking for her, but not really. So I was like, do they really know? Maybe they really know. Why is no one calling asking where she is, And so, but okay. And so she's in there and I don't hear from her and I don't hear from her and I don't hear from her. And I'm like, she should be out by now. And she wouldn't tell me where she was serving the time, anything, because she thought I'd show up to visit her, and she didn't want me. I didn't even know it was outside of Houston.
Wow.
And so she didn't want me to know. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that I'm going to just call Pete, her husband. So I called Pete, and I'm like, hey, I knew he knew.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's up? What? Oh, well, turns out if they have, if they're sick and they're serving in the infirmary, they don't get good behavior. They don't earn as many good behavior days per day served. And so you have to serve more time.
Because she was in the infirmary.
Because you're in the infirmary.
Oh.
And I was
Gotta
like,
read the fine print.
yeah. So I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to lie longer. I don't know how long it's going to be, Well, she ended up being in there. She missed my birthday. She missed 2 months. She was in there 2 months.
Wow.
And so word got out. I mean, I know,
I
didn't know immediately after that, but after she passed, my aunts and a few other were like, oh no, we know. I was like, oh, they're like, good job trying to cover though.
Yeah, you did great.
And now it's on a podcast. No, but I was like, bless her heart. So she gets out, she calls me and tells me about her thing and
about her vacation,
about her little vacation. And she was telling me about the infirmary. And she was like, yeah, there was 9 other women in the infirmary with me. And we're all in the same room, but basically. And she goes, and I have cancer and another one had diabetes. And I don't remember what she said was wrong with 1 or 2 others, but there was 4 of them that had a disease. And then everybody else was pregnant.
Wow.
Right? Pretty pregnant, know? And so they get to know each other because they're serving a month or 2 with each other,
Yeah.
And so she says that, they talk or whatever. And my mom's the only one that has money. So she was like, these people are government assistants. They've never worked a day in their life. And most of them have 9 kids because they're living off the government. That's how they make a living.
Yeah.
And they were all arrested for theft, something, one of them was welfare fraud. It was all related to that. My mom was not a big fan of that lifestyle. She was a hard worker if she was anything. And so we were never on government assistance. She was real funny about that you don't abuse that kind of system. But my mom's like, yeah, so this is the kind of people that I'm with, She goes, and I just kept my mouth shut, and every time I got a snack, they got a snack. And every time I bought something from the commissary, I bought it for anyone else that wanted it. I knew that if I continued to take care of these people that I was rooming with for the next 2 months, that I would be okay.
Yeah.
We were not from the same background, basically. And she goes, so, they were well fed the 2 weeks I was there. She goes, I was buying everything for anybody that wanted it, And she goes, but then it was time to leave. And I was going to let them know what I thought. This is who I come from, y'all. If this isn't a Zada moment.
You were definitely handed down that petty ass queen crown.
I was. And so I laughed so hard when she told me this story. And so she said, as they said, okay, Sherry Vaughn, you can leave now. So she gets up to leave and they're like, bye, Sherry Vaughn. She turns around. She goes, you need to stop having kids. 9 different baby daddies with 9 kids. That is embarrassing. She goes to the next one. You need to da-da-da-da-da. It is not the taxpayer's job to support you. I was a single parent as well, and I made it work without abusing the system. Went to the next one. She told every day. She got to one that was a good woman. Keep up with your health. If you eat healthy, you're going to be okay. Blah, blah, blah.
Fuck you.
Basically,
you're cool.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
that is exactly what she did. That is exactly what she did.
Oh my gosh.
And I laughed so hard at her little got arrested story. And so when we were discussing that story after she passed is when I found out about the other arrest. And I just laughed so hard. I was just like, I mean, knock on wood, I have never been arrested, y'all. And I've never been close to arrested, knock on wood. Well, I did have to run once, but it was, it was just expired tax. I mean, real expired tax.
You better watch out, you little crazy
I had
girl.
my kid in the car. It was awesome. But yeah, no, never been close to arrested. And here I'm. And there probably were other times. Now I know there was my dad. I can't tell those stories till he passes, but I know some stories about my dad. So the other morning we're at breakfast, and I told you back in the day, Rick was a little gangbanger. So the other day we're in breakfast, and he is telling a story about when he was in his little bad boy era, and about getting arrested. And his daughter is sitting at the table. Her mouth just drops. Like, she knew he was kind of rough around the edges back in the day. But I have never heard him tell this story in front of her, so I don't know that she knew anything about it. And her face was just deadpan. And I just turned to her. I was like, listen, I would not have dated your dad when he was like that. Keep your standards high. Okay.
Please do it.
She started laughing. She goes, I wouldn't date him now.
I mean, she's not wrong.
I'm just saying. Anyway, so that is, sorry, Sherry Vaughn, to out you, but it was a really funny story. And everybody knew. Turns out everybody in my family knew. I don't know who told, but everybody knew. My mom probably told.
You tried.
She probably told everybody, don't tell anybody.
After she got out, she told everybody.
Yeah. Well, she was doing hard time for 2 months in the infirmary. In some Rosedale, Texas is where I think it ended up being.
Oh my gosh. Well, that reminds me of, so Robert's birthday was this past weekend. And so for his birthday, Marilee reserved a escape room for us. And so we're like, okay, yeah, awesome. So we all get there. I don't think to ask, because I don't ask questions. So I'm just like, that's what we're doing. Okay. I didn't even know where it was. I just got in the car. Here we go. So we get there and the lady's walking us down, and it's an awesome place. And they have all the lights are turned off, and it's black lights because they have black light mini golf through the whole thing. So we're walking down the hallways, and there's black lights, and they have this cool color light show going on. It was super trippy. And anyway, so she opens up the door to our room, and it is a jailbreak prison themed room. Oh. And the room, it's a big room, but it has 4 sections, and you have to get through all of the sections to get out. And
I've never done an escape room. Do you all go together your whole group?
Yes. And so I think we had 7 people all total that went, and she crams us into this first little, because it's the intake. So it's a tiny little room, and there's just bars on one side that you have to find the key to open up these bars to move into a bigger room.
Okay.
So we're all crammed in this tiny little room, which I'm already oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this? And then Cindy's also there, and she's also she cannot do tiny spaces. She does not like people touching her. We're very similar in that aspect. So we're just looking at each other we're going to die. We're going to die. Somebody's going to die today. And I don't know who it's going to be. Oh my gosh. It turned out being really awesome. And the fact that we had so many people really worked to our advantage, because you could have multiple people at different points of the room trying to
figure out how to get out. Yeah.
So it actually went pretty smoothly because we were able to work together. We were a pretty good team.
Yeah.
But there was one point in it though. So we'd gotten through the first part. And then into the second room, there was an electric chair, and you had to unlock all the locks to get this skeleton guy off the electric chair, and then get into the next room. So we got through that room, and then we were into the infirmary. And in their infirmary, I unlocked a box that had a key in it, and also had some a blood pressure cuff, and then the what's the thing called, the
stethoscope.
So Marilee's standing beside me, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to put the stethoscope on and I'm going to listen to her heart.
Yeah.
Because, that's where I went. So I
course.
go and I put the stethoscope on. The stethoscope does not have the rubber ends on the metal part.
So you poked holes in your ear?
That one of the metal parts went directly into my eardrum and like busts I don't know if it busted my eardrum because I could still hear, but I had blood
Oh my gosh.
dripping down my neck. I didn't realize at first. At first I was like, ow, that hurt. And why did it do that? And I looked and saw what had just happened. I was like, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And I was like, okay, I'm okay. So then I'm helping them get back to I didn't even tell Marilee it happened at first. Because
it was like the scorpion story when I got stung.
So I just put it back. I was like, oh, that was dangerous.
Yeah.
But then, like, as I'm helping them unlock a door, I start feeling, and I put my hand up to my ear and I bring it back and there's blood. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I just have this like look on my face and Marilee looks over at me and she's like, what? I was like, do you have a
Toilet
tissue
paper
or something? She's like, yeah, I do. Cause she had her back little purse thing on. So she gives me it. So then I like stuff it in my ear to keep it from bleeding. I still don't tell her what's going on though, because I'm like, I don't want to freak everybody out because I'm bleeding through my ear. We're trying to escape from prison. This is getting too real.
Man down.
Entirely too real. So we finally get out of there. And then in the parking lot, I tell her and she's like, oh my gosh. I show her like the tissue that's all covered in blood and she's like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, I was too scared.
That was like when a certain ex-friend of ours fell in the rock.
Yeah.
And didn't tell anyone how severe it was at first. Or when I got stung by the scorpion in the river and I didn't want Mary to freak out, so I couldn't tell anyone.
I was already freaked out. I didn't want to add to the freaking out because there is a lady that's watching you. Like they have videos, and you can ask them for clues, like, and they'll help you wherever you're at. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want them to stop it either. And another thing is like you have to sign a waiver before you go in. So, I went to the restroom while everybody was signing the waivers. So I never even signed the waiver. They let me in without even signing the waiver. And so I'm like, I don't want to get everybody in trouble. You know what I mean? Like you went in there, you didn't even sign the waiver. Like whatever.
Was that your first escape room you've done?
No, it was the second one I've done, but the only one that I've ever been any help in. The very first one. The very first one. We went to the escape room. I had already been drinking and I was no help at all because I was just playing. I did find a clue, but it was only because I was playing with stuff. Like, I wasn't even trying. I was
kind of like the stethoscope.
Yeah. I didn't get hurt, but definitely was no help in the first one. And in the first one, I went with a completely different group of friends, and there were people in that group who were like escape room, fanatics
junkies or something. Yeah.
And so they, of course, took over and they wanted to be in charge of everything. And that kind of takes away from the fun of it.
Yeah.
We worked really good together in this one. And there were so many different aspects in different parts of the room that you had to look for that it made it easier to work together. Yeah. So it was fun. And we were so crammed that you couldn't walk from this side of the room to that side of the room.
It's never occurred to me to do an escape room, but that sounds fun. I bet my kid would I bet Zoe would like that.
I mean, it can go either way though, because like with the people who are very sensitive to things like that, you're not necessarily locked in. They can get you out at any time. You can. So there's that comfort in knowing you're not really locked in this room. But if you have any kind of claustrophobia or any kind of fear of being in tight spaces with people, it's probably. And then when we got out, this is the best part. When we get out, me and Cindy are like, oh my gosh, because like that was just not our cup of tea, the prison break escape room. It just was not. And then Marilee's talking about, well, they have these other ones. There's like 90s party and this and that. She's like naming all those like super fun
ones.
I'm like, and you had a choice and you picked prison break.
You're not in charge next time, Marilee.
I mean, it was so much fun, but oh my gosh, I was like, you could have picked 90s party,
right?
You did it.
That would be neat. I wonder if that's neater for someone like me that lived it.
Yeah.
Or someone like you that was born in it and wouldn't remember it.
No.
You know what I mean?
I would still have so much fun. I was like, we're gonna have to go back and do the
90s party. Yeah. That's what I would pick. Because it'd have good music too.
I know,
You'd be
right?
like, yeah, let's go. That's funny. So, is we going to the next one, which is we've moved around. All right, look at
Oh, no,
us.
well, I never know what order we're going to talk about things. I just write as they come to me. So if we don't want to get into our
Girls'
our
night makes
debate.
sense to me. Girls' night, I think, makes more sense after.
Girls' night is not too big of a thing, but I just like to give people an update, because that's part of my thing. Girls' night. Well, an interesting thing actually did happen at girls' night this night. I saw one of my very first ever boyfriends that I ever had when I was like in elementary school.
And y'all recognize each other?
Yeah. I mean, we have known who each other is because we went to school together our whole lives. We went to school together, but I had a crush on him. He was one of the first boys I ever had a crush on in school. And it had to be like right after elementary school. I'm thinking like 6th grade, because I remember I wasn't allowed to date at this time, but my mom let me go to the roller skating rink with some friends, and he went with some friends, and we met up there to have a group kind of hang out. So we weren't really dating, but I liked him and he knew I liked him, and like we got to we went around the road. Yeah, we couple skated one time, and I thought that was the most romantic thing in my entire life. And
some REO speed wagon playing.
But then we never actually dated though. That was the only thing that ever occurred. But I was just I was insane. Crazy, but I've never.
Was the last time you saw him?
It's been a really long time. So he actually dated a girl or I don't know if they dated, but they were a thing for a while. A girl that I used to live with when I first moved back from Waxahachie, when I left my ex-husband and moved back to Waxahachie, and I started living with a friend, and they had dated or were friends or something like that. I don't ask questions. You know me. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, y'all do y'all.
You do you. I'm going to do me. But I had seen him one time, whether he'd come over to the house or we met him out somewhere, or he had dropped her off or something like that. It was just in passing. I'd seen him and he had said hi to me. I'm like, he knows who I am, but he never seeks me out or anything.
Yeah.
I don't really know that you could do that. I don't really have a lot of
good luck.
You would have to really try to find me.
Yeah.
Well, he was at Rocket on Thursday night with a friend, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so of course he comes up to me and says hi at one point, because the girls have gone back to play pool, and him and his friend were over at the other pool tables playing pool. And so he came over and said hi to me, and asked me how I'd been and asked me if I was going to sing. And I was like, yeah, because even back then I was a singer. I've always loved to sing. I'm like, I grew up singing in church. He knew that I sang. And so he was like, you singing tonight? I was like, yeah, I'm going to sing. And he's like, oh, cool. Well, I'm definitely not going to leave until I hear you. And I was like, okay, walk away. And I just turned around and walked away. And I was like, no, okay, we're going to have to leave.
Danger.
We're going to have to leave.
Did you all leave or did you?
No, we didn't. I mean, because not that I'm worried. I'm not worried in any way. You know what I mean? I know who I am. And he's a very nice, respectful man. Well, maybe some people wouldn't think he is. But anyways.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't a problem. But still, I was not expecting to see my very first crush, first guy ever.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
To see him there, yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, surprise. Isn't that funny when you're grown and you see someone from so long ago?
I wasn't ready. It was it really was. It took me back for a second. I was like, and something like that has not happened to me. That doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
It's very rare that somebody catches me off guard or that I'm not ready for it.
Not ready to see him.
Yeah.
I had planned this weekend to come up to Al's. Well, to the Rocket or Al's. Saturday night, my friends Danny and Coy reached out and said that they were going to dinner with their wives, and not dinner, but going out to see a band at the Rocket, and asked if Rick and I wanted to join them. And so I was like, yeah, that sounds fun, But then I have been having some issues. Turns out I have a cyst on my ovary. I thought I had a kidney infection again. And so I just went down for the count the last week. I have just been out of pocket. I felt horrible. Feels like I've been working out without working out, hard working out. So everything below the waist hurts really bad. Bending over, putting on pants, putting on shoes.
Yeah.
Any kind of movement, I can't get comfortable at night. So I ended up sleeping all day Saturday. And then by then they had decided to go to Al's because they found out that Al had a George Strait cover band. So they had decided to go to Al's instead. And they were like, okay, Zada will come here. And so y'all coming, I slept through it. I slept till almost 8:00. I was out. And so I woke up. They're like, yeah, still come. I was like, y'all, I don't want to get dressed now. I've been in bed all day.
Sorry,
I'm
it's
staying
not worth
here.
it.
I had Rick go get fast food, which we never do on Saturday nights. I was like, go get fast food. And he was like, really? really? I was like, yeah. And then I couldn't eat it.
Test?
Yeah, I stayed in bed all day Sunday. Very boring. I ain't got shit to talk about. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody. I've been feeling bad.
Well, that's okay.
It'll all work out eventually, Just if they could just rip my female parts out, I would be fine with that. I don't need them. Just rip that shit out.
Right?
Go.
They make it impossible, though.
I know.
It's
Every time I go, they want to do one more thing.
Right?
One more thing. I'm like, there's no more things. Take it out. Take it out. It's
no
old.
more things.
We'll bury it in the backyard. I'll put a headstone up. I don't know.
We'll treat it right.
Yeah, this bitch went through a lot, but now she's dead. So that's what I did this weekend. It has. I've had 4 kids. This uterus has been through some shit. Just take it all. I'm like, Lord. And I called Rick when I left the doctor's office. I was like, not a kidney infection. Turned out it's a cyst on my ovary. You would think it was his balls. He's like, oh God, no. Oh.
Why? The horror.
You won't even like touch me. I don't want to hurt anything. Like, okay. I mean, it had nothing. It's not going to explode. Well, it could, but hopefully not.
Well, it could.
It could. So bathroom. I wanted to talk about something that we had discussed previously, touched on when Rick and I first moved in together, and that is bathroom etiquette when you're a couple.
I feel like this is such a touchy subject.
Everyone's so different about it. Everybody is so different about how they feel about it.
And very adamant, too.
Yes. And I am and have always been, even when I was married before, I have always been one of those people that whatever I'm doing in the bathroom is none of your business. You need to stay the F out unless I leave that door open. If I leave the door open, then come on in. If I leave the door open, whatever. But unless the house is on fire, don't even knock on the door because I am in there to escape people. Or whatever.
Yeah, this is my sanctuary.
It is. It drives me nuts. And I don't have a big bathroom. My house, I have a big bedroom instead of a bathroom, Yeah. And so last night I used the last of the toilet paper and I realized I've used, that's upstairs. So I was like, okay, I had to go downstairs for like a few things and then I'm going to bed. And so I head downstairs and do a few things. I'm downstairs 10 minutes tops. Rick's already in bed. So I think he's in bed for the night, And so I grabbed some rolls of toilet paper as I'm heading back up the stairs, and I see that the bathroom door is shut. I'm like, oh, he's in the bathroom. And he doesn't shut the bathroom door unless he's in the shower or he's doing number 2. And but he doesn't care if I come in there. Like, he doesn't care what he's doing in there. I can come in there.
Yeah.
But he does not try to go in there when I'm in there. He knows how I feel about it, and he has no interest in seeing or hearing or any of that. So we have the same attitude about me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's only so much I control about him and what he says and does. I can just control myself. But I'm like, hey, do you need some toilet paper? Which I knew he did. And he was like, yes. Why is there none in here? I was like, why did you not check? I went to get some. And I said,
I checked. So
yeah.
You didn't check.
I said, I'm going to put these 3 rolls by the door. And you can reach them from the door. You've seen the bathroom.
Yeah.
So you can reach it. I mean, you might have to bend over a little bit, but you can reach it. I said, I'm going to put these. No, just give it to me. And I'm like, no. And this is through the door. No, I don't want to open this door. Yes, just open the door and give me the toilet paper. And I'm like, no, I'm not opening the door and giving you the toilet paper. He was like, Zada.
I don't want to get that whiff.
Yeah. He's like, Zada, just open the damn door. I'm like, fine. So I open the door and I like look the opposite direction and I got toilet paper in my hand and I'm like, here's your toilet paper.
Oh my God.
And I'm like kicking the other roll that's on the floor towards him. He's like, it's not that bad. I was like, it's not that good and I don't need to be here. I don't need to be here for this. I do not care to see you on the toilet.
This is not an image that I want.
No. And so he laughs. He thinks it's really funny to do stuff like that to me.
Of course he does.
And so I'm like, no. Anyway, so I was just like, okay, we are now 6-ish months in living together. I don't know exactly when we moved in together because why would I know that? I don't know when we started dating.
Who knows?
But 6-ish months, I think. And maybe, longer than that now, I guess. I think it was August. And anyway, so it's not gotten any different. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. I'm going to do anything I can to avoid being involved in that in the same respect you need to give to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I have a good friend that is married and has been married. I think she's been married 16 years now ish. And her and her husband, she's like, no, we don't ever shut the door. I don't know if we have a door on that room. We don't shut the door. No. Even if like the girls are going to come in the bedroom and we're in the bathroom, like we don't shut the door. We just tell them don't get too close to the door.
Wow.
They'll talk to us while we're in the bathroom. And I'm like, no. Yeah. My kids try to talk to me and I'm on the toilet. I'm like, do you not realize I'm in the bathroom? This cannot wait till I get out of the bathroom. Like, I don't even want to talk to my kids. Mm-mm. And I am a hot Epsom bath type of girl. So I like to take a hot Epsom bath and then I get up and I rinse off and I take a shower. So it's like a 2-in-1 bath for me. It helps with my body aches and pains. Boy, does it piss me off when I get it all set up and I'm in my Epsom salt bath and I'm relaxing. And then, Mom.
No.
What do you need? In 2 weeks at 2:00 on Tuesday, we need... Are you kidding me?
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, but they do because that's what kids do.
That's why I didn't procreate.
Smart. No one gave me this memo. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give people this memo.
I gave it myself.
Yeah.
Like, apparently. And thank you, young me, old me. You know, when people are talking, if I could talk to my younger self, my conversation would have been, you rock. Because I decided literally, I think I was like 7 years old or 10 years old. I knew I was not having kids. And I was like, you are such a smart little girl. Yes.
High five.
No kids. Don't get married. Save all your money for yourself.
My sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, I guess my niece's mom, when I had my third child, she was very much a surprise. And so I called my dad, my stepmom, to tell them about it, And then I immediately get a call from my brother and my sister-in-law because my dad immediately called them. And so they call me and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, I know, surprise. And I was like, not planned. And she was like, that's never happening to us. We're da-da-da-da-da. Now they used IVF to have their first one. And their first one at this point was like 10 years old probably. And so they were like, no, that's never happened to us. Da-da-da-da-da. They were already pregnant and didn't know it.
Oh my, see, there you go.
I said, see, you did that to yourself. You did that to yourself.
Can't have that kind of attitude, man.
No. And my brother really wanted a boy, forever. He really, cowboy always wanted a boy. And so whenever he had his first one, they used IVF. And I was like, it's going to be a girl. You're using IVF. Like, that's how typically it's a girl. And he was like, no. And I was like, yeah, no, look it up. You're most likely having a girl. Has a girl. And he's thrilled with having a girl. He loved having girls. But you know how it is when you first have kids. So then when they found out about this, he was like, this is going to be my boy. I was like, no, if you've ever had IFF, it affects you. It doesn't. I was just fucking with him. But he did have a second girl. Like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Times. Well, for back on the bathroom etiquette, for me, I know everybody's different, but take into account, I don't have kids. And now I don't really live with anybody either. But the way I see it, especially when you're not sharing a bathroom, when you have a room and there's a bathroom in your room, there should be nobody coming in your room to your bathroom while you're in the bathroom.
I agree. It's weird.
If you don't have access to the room, which you should ask for access to the room first, it is can I enter the room? If that's a yes, it's because I'm not in my bathroom and I'm ready to talk to you.
Right.
If it's a no, you're not coming in the room. You don't come in the room.
Yeah, because I don't want someone waiting on me in my room while I'm in the bathroom.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And so, no, you're not going to come in my bathroom with me unless it is a girls hanging out, getting ready situation.
Yeah, that's different. That is different.
If I have somebody over, like with Sunday has come over to even my little tiny home, and she was getting ready in the downstairs area, and I'm in the upstairs. That's my little bedroom, bathroom area. I would have no problem with her coming up, using my sink, doing stuff. Because you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
she's
common
getting ready,
area.
yeah.
We're getting ready together. No problem. If I did need to use the restroom, I would be like, okay, I'm going into the restroom. So, she's not going to come up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm the same way with my boyfriend. I don't want my boyfriend in the bathroom with me. I hardly ever even take showers with my boyfriends. I have done it before.
Right.
And because, you have the people who like the shower stuff. I get it. I'm not
they like to freeze. They like to be the frozen one on the outside. Because there's always one frozen one on the outside.
But in my ideal world, no, I'm going to shower. I shower by myself. I want to that's me time. I'm hanging out. I'm doing my thing. Like, I don't want anybody in that bathroom with me when I'm doing my thing.
Right.
I'm not going to have a conversation with you.
I'm very thankful that Rick respects the fact that I don't want him all up in my grill space while I'm in the bathroom, And he doesn't always understand that I don't want to be all up in his.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care. He just doesn't care either way. But he was determined I was going to hand him that damn toilet paper. I was like, no, dude, no. Will you just stop?
I've been on that end of having to give people toilet paper before, and I just throw it. I try to throw it at them at that point. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just chunking it.
You better bob and weave.
Move to the side. Move to the side.
It's coming in.
Yeah, that exactly.
Grenade.
But most people that are in couples that are long-term couples are not like this. Like most of them,
you get to that point of what else.
But my mom was like me in that respect, and so I think that's why I am the way that I am about it. Because my mom, I mean, just like I said, I know she was wild as hell, but she was freaking a Southern star.
Yeah, I just don't ever lose that
femininity.
Yeah, that, and then the want to have my own personal space.
Right.
You know what I mean? You should always fight for your own, because the more you give, the less you have. And then you're like, I never have a minute alone. Well, if you don't make people respect your personal space boundaries, you're never going to have a moment alone. You're going to have hands on you all the time. You're going to have people talking to you all kinds of crap you don't want to listen to. You have to put up boundaries for people.
You got to draw a
No,
line.
I don't want you to do this. No, I'm not going to talk to you about this. No, we're not going to do this.
Right. Yeah. You are good at boundaries.
Oh, I sure am. I'll freaking stab you. You get too close.
That's your reaction to a boundary being crossed.
My boyfriend, 3 years in, still pats me down before he starts anything with me. He's like, "Where are your knives? Take that out.
Yeah, take that out.
I don't want you getting crazy."
Like the first time we were in here, I don't know if it was the first time we were in here with Al one day recording the other podcast. And he goes, "Does anyone have a knife?" I'm like, "Oh, Kelly does." She whips it out of her bra. He was like, "That was so."
You were ready.
You always got one there.
Ready.
I was like, "Yeah, she does."
Always.
She's gonna have this situation handled. That's too funny. If y'all haven't figured out, we are doing one episode this week. One longer episode instead of two, mainly because of time constraints.
Yeah, it's a crazy week this week. It's my birthday week, so
it's her birthday week, and I have a cyst about to explode inside of me any second, so that's definitely keeping me down. It's pretty bad, y'all, but it's annoying. It's just annoying.
Everybody pray for Zada, please.
Pray for
Lord,
my uterus.
Please help Zada's poor uterus.
It's been through a lot.
Bless its heart.
I blame my children.
Bless your uterus.
Well, you know what? It goes back to fucking menopause. There's my F-bomb for y'all. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just trying to please the listeners because the review we get.
I mean,
we're going to read in a minute. Yeah. But yeah, menopause is no joke. I know I bring it up on a regular basis, but the shit it has done to me and is still doing to me, it is like the most abusive man that's ever been in my life. It's my uterus.
So sorry.
She is out of control, y'all. She has gone batshit crazy and she is doing some weird shit. And
it's getting weird.
It is getting weird. It is getting weird. And every day I'm just like, really, this now? This? And my doctor is a woman my age. And my doctor is so funny because she's going through the same stuff. So when I showed up, she was like, "This is probably next for me too now, if it's you, because everything that happens to you happens to me. So I'm probably next. Thanks a lot, Zada."
Yeah, that's what I told you earlier. I was like, you give me so much to look
I know.
forward
I was
to.
like, just rip it out now.
So
Just rip it out now. Yesterday was when I went to the doctor yesterday. The lady that works the front desk at the doctor's office, I had not seen before or remembered seeing, I guess. It was after hours, so there weren't as many people there. And she was about the cutest little thing, blonde, and she had her hair. She was in her mid-20s, and her hair was pulled back in a pink ribbon, like Pollyanna pink ribbon. And she had her nails painted just a soft pink, and she was wearing a soft pink shirt, and her keyboard was a soft pink, and she was just the girliest white girl, you know. And I looked at her nameplate because I was like, she's gonna have the whitest name you've ever. Like, I'm just thinking in my head. And her name was Caitlin. And I was like, that's perfect. Like, thinking to myself, she's pretty vanilla. Like, and she's beautiful. I don't mean it by her looks. I mean, she just looks perfect. Little vanilla perfect cake, you know? And so she getting all my information and getting my pay and everything to see the doctor. And she says, so when it's all said and done, she goes, "Can I tell you something?" And I've been thinking this as she's helping me. And I don't mean it in a negative way either. I'm just observing her. And I had noticed she had one little Spider-Man and one little Batman action figure on her keyboard, like hanging out next to it. And everything else was pink, you know? And I was like, yeah, what is it? And she goes, when I was growing up, my favorite show was Batman Beyond. It was like a cartoon set in the future. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, yeah. And my favorite episode ever was about, and she said term for robot. She used an actual term. I don't remember what it was. A droid or whatever. She goes, and this droid was built to do all these mean things and, you know, to do bad things, but it didn't want to be bad. It wanted to be a good droid. So it like made itself a good droid against how it was built, you know, and that's what the episode was. And it was my absolute favorite episode. And the name of the droid was Zada, and it was spelled exactly like your name is spelled, but it's a boy, which I've never heard the name Zada used for a boy. It is a girl name. Like, it's a weird name, but it is an actual name. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah,
It shows that we're still going.
Yeah, we're still going. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulty. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, Zada is the name. And I've always wanted to name my kid Zada. And I just thought, I just totally pegged her wrong. Caitlin over there is watching boy cartoons when she's a little girl and about droids that are named Zada that just want to be good. Like, I'm like, I just pegged this poor girl totally wrong.
So you
I apologize.
Can never judge a book by its cover.
You cannot. You cannot. I had a little life lesson there. That was my life lesson. And it looks like we're going to run out of memory cards soon. So, what we got?
Okay, well, we do have a review. I wanted to give a shout out to our 5-star reviewer. It's Cutie Cat Friends. Said, I love listening to the podcast. I laugh at the banter and content and all the foul language. So thank you so much. We're doing it for you, girl. We're doing it for you.
Yeah, no one fucking else. Just you.
Love you, bitch.
I mean, you know, we're not calling you the P word or the C word, so we're all good.
Bitch can definitely be a term of endearment, okay?
Oh, definitely. I call myself a bitch, and I mean it as a compliment all the
Bitch,
time.
I love you, girl.
Look at that bad bitch. It's too funny. All right, so I guess that's everything, right?
Yeah, that's good for this time.
All right, and we do have merch coming. Kelly and I did work on it. We got some more ideas. If y'all think of any ideas, you know, send them to us. It doesn't have to be necessarily something that you hear on the radio. I'm not talking about what to sell. We got that already kind of ideas. But I'm talking about what you'd like to see on it, what you associate with us mentally. And you can send a message or whatever. There's going to be foul language involved, y'all.
Yeah, if you want it. If you want it.
Yeah, but there'll be some that are not. Yeah. We're going to be blessing people's hearts all over the fucking place.
All over.
And that's it. Yeah, see y'all again later.
Want to drop your...
if you want to find me on Instagram, I'm Z Mamacita. If you want to find me on Facebook, I'm Zada Owens, Zada Owens, and Kelly.
I'm on Instagram, Kelly Lady Pearl. And if you'd like to email the podcast, it is 2sidesinthetruthpodcast@outlook.com.
All right. See y'all next time.
Love ya.
Love ya. Bye, y'all.